I'm not gonna lie to y'all. This was a chore to get through. Hey everyone, it's Sharona from Payroll Waits, and today I'm going to be reviewing the HBO Max original film, Lockdown, which is directed by Doug Liman and it stars Anne Hathaway, Chiwetel Ejiofor, as it centers around a couple who attempts a high-risk, high-stakes jewelry heist at a department store. So for those of you who are new to my channel, welcome, hello, so glad you came, I hope you stay. I'll tell you what I enjoyed about the film, what I didn't like about the film, and is it worth your time watching or not, as this film hits the HBO Max streaming platform on Thursday. So going into what I enjoyed about Lockdown, and I think when the film is at its best is when it is focusing on the relationship between Linda and Paxton, played by Anne Hathaway and Chiwetel Ejiofor. Just seeing it almost made me appreciate. I was like, you know what, Lord, I appreciate you having me go through this pandemic season of my life single, because after watching Linda and Paxton's relationship really deteriorate, there are a couple who are basically on the brink of separation. However, due to Miss COVID, Miss Rona, they are forced to quarantine together in their home during this lockdown. And so it made me really appreciate being single during this time, because you're watching these two individuals who have clearly fell out of love, who have grown apart from one another, and are really just shells of what their relationship used to be. And so I think that when the film focuses on the deterioration of this relationship, I think that's when the film is at its best. Especially when we switch gears halfway through the film and when the actual heist takes place. But it's really through the lens of Linda and Paxton's relationship, and both characters are played so beautifully. Anne Hathaway is just absolutely fantastic, but it's Chiwetel Ejiofor who really takes the cake. He just takes the edge just a little bit more due to the quirkiness of his character. There's a ton of dialogue, and Paxton is like this poet, and as he goes into these long monologues doing poetry to the entire neighborhood, it's really his quirkiness that I was just like, Paxton, honey, just calm down a little bit. I was like, well, Linda, if you had to deal with this during the lockdown, I totally understand at this point. But it's really due to the performances of Anne and Chiwetel that really sell this movie. It made me want to keep watching because I was invested in the characters. And also, too, once we get into the heist, once we see how these two individuals, as they come together for their last hurrah, as they try to carry out this crazy plan that they have come up with, I think that's when the film is most interesting, especially due to the dynamics of their relationship really increasing the anxiety on the heist portion of the film. Now, also, too, just from, they do a great job of love watching Anne Hathaway as she does her Zoom meetings. She's like dressy up top, really casual on bottom. I was just like, okay, so it's not just me who is literally acting like they have on clothes, but wearing a onesie under it all. It made you not nostalgic, because clearly this is the life that we're currently living in this pandemic, but it's fun to kind of watch other people. It's fun to relate to people on screen who are literally living the same life that we are currently living in our homes. But even though those are pretty much the only things that I really did enjoy about this film, I had a lot of issues with Lockdown. It was a chore for me to get through. I would say that the first half of the film is really slow. And for me, I didn't understand where the movie was going. And if I'm going to be honest with you, it felt like this was literally two films in one. There's this comedy slash, I guess you call it a dramedy, between the relationship of Linda and Paxton, as we really focus on what led them to this point of really being at the brink of the end of their relationship. And I was invested in their relationship enough for me to want them to explore that a little bit more, but we really don't do that. It kind of feels as though that this decision is final, even though you feel as though that there's a little bit of glimmer of hope for this couple, but you'll have to watch to really see how their relationship plays out. But for me, it feels like two distinctively different movies, of the first half of the film really just focusing on the frustration of their relationship as their relationship is coming to an end, but they're still stuck in this pandemic together. And as we transition into the second half, which is the better half of the film, when we get into the actual heist portion of it. I don't think they do a very good job of really blending those two stories together, and the film just takes a totally different shift as we kind of shift gears into what this last couple's hurrah is going to be. There's also a lot of dialogue in this film. Because they're in a pandemic, there's not that much that they can do while filming. There's just a ton of there's a lot of monologues that take place. At certain points in times, I'm just like, child, I'm lost. Let me stop and go back and rewind this because I don't know what the heck these people are saying. It's happening so fast, but it just feels like there's just so much. It's like a lot happening because they're saying a lot, but there's still nothing happening at the same time, if that makes any sense. And for me, the movie let me down. Even though the second half of the film really does, it got me invested. It got me excited to watch something new that happens to this couple. But the fact that I had to suffer the first hour to really get to the last 47 minutes of the film, where it actually becomes interesting because it's the heist portion of it, I just felt let down overall by Lockdown. There's great performances from Hathaway and from Ejiofor, but overall for me, the story doesn't have enough balance to really help blend this dramedy about this relationship of Lyndon and Paxton into the ultimate heist that takes place towards the end of the film. And to me, the film kind of ends abruptly. I wanted there to be a little bit more, and it could just be my own selfish feelings of wanting to have a little bit more explanation of what happens after, like, do they, don't they portion of the heist. But it just felt like an abrupt ending for me. It was just kind of like, that's it? Like, that's what I suffered for? Yeah, so what I would tell you guys to do during your time, it's a no for me. I would say that if you have nothing else to watch tomorrow, go for it. If you have the time, if you want to see great performances from Anne Hathaway and Chiwetel Ejiofor, I would say give it a try. But I just want to set you with the expectation that the first half of the film is going to be a drag, and you will feel the runtime of the movie. It's almost a 2-hour movie, and it feels like it was 3 hours. When I was watching, I was just like, has it been an hour yet? And it's only been 20 minutes. I was literally losing my mind the entire time while watching this film. But those are my thoughts on Lockdown. As always, my name is Sharonda from Para Waits. If you like what you saw today, make sure you hit the like button, hit subscribe, share this video with your friends, and make sure you hit the notification bell. And I love you guys 3000. And until I see you again, bye.